December 23, 1942, 04:17 a.m. A cold wind pushes sand across the Tunisian desert as the first gray light touches the hills near Sidi Bouzid. A column of exhausted American engineers has just been overrun. Footsteps crunch over broken crates. A Japanese officer, Major Hiroshi Tanaka, attached to a German liaison unit, lowers his binoculars and signals his men forward. The fighting is already over. U.S. rear area troops abandoned the site less than an hour ago, leaving trucks burning, tents half-collapsed, and metal scattered in the sand. What Tanaka expects to find is ammunition, maybe fuel, anything that confirms.
A lieutenant pulls out a can, turns it over in his hand. Beef stew, enriched with vitamins? He mutters aloud, as if reading a message from another world. Tanaka orders his men to open all of it. They slice through crates. They find fruit bars, soluble coffee, powdered lemonade, whole tins of candy designed only to raise morale. One soldier breaks a chocolate bar, smelling it. Real cocoa, something the Japanese army hasn't supplied to its troops in years. The cold wind blows, but for a moment the officers simply stand there, staring, saying nothing. Because in that instant,
the realization hangs in the air. War is not only fought with bullets, it is fought with calories, with industry, with what a nation can afford to waste on ordinary soldiers. Behind him, flames snap across the wreckage of a U.S. truck, illuminating the stacked towers of ration crates. And then he sees something that stops him cold. A box marked excess comfort rations, not for field use. Not for field use. Japan couldn't feed its frontline troops half this well. America had extra food so good they didn't even.
The sound grows louder, deep, throaty engines pushing across hard sand. Major Tanaka freezes. He gestures sharply. Every man goes silent. Cigarettes drop into the dirt, rifles come up. In the distance, dust rises. American half-tracks. 3 of them. They're moving fast, headlights off, engines roaring as if they already know Japanese troops are here. The ration crates sit exposed in the open. Tanaka has 2 choices. Run. Or fight. Over food.
His men scramble, dropping behind tin piles and ruined vehicles. A corporal tears open a ration box and shoves cans aside to clear a line of fire. The half-tracks appear. Olive drab, white stars on the hulls. Machine guns swing toward the Japanese line. Then, just for a breath, everything stops. Because the American gunner hesitates. He sees not German helmets, but Japanese uniforms. The confusion is instant and total. Japanese troops were not supposed to be here. They were supposed to be fighting thousands of miles away in the Pacific, not picking through U.S. supply dumps in North Africa. The gunner yells something to his driver. That hesitation is all Tanaka needs. Fire! Rifles crack. Tracer.
Not a single crate has been destroyed. His men begin moving again, quiet, shaken but determined. They drag the wounded, they load the trucks, they salvage everything they can. Then a junior officer, the same one who found the beef stew, holds up something new. A small green can. Label: fruit cocktail for morale. Fruit. In syrup. Not vitamins. Not necessary calories. A dessert. The officer whispers, "If this is what they give to ordinary soldiers, what did their pilots eat? Their tank crews?" Tanaka doesn't answer. because the truth is forming like thunder in his mind. America is not winning this war with better strategy. They are winning it because they can afford to drown their army in comfort. Cigarettes, chocolate, coffee, canned fruit. These are not luxuries. They are weapons designed to keep a soldier fighting longer than any Japanese conscript could dream of. And every unopened can is a reminder the United States is wealthy enough to feed hope to millions of men daily. Tanaka closes his hand around the fruit tin.
07:12 a.m. The sky is turning orange as the first sunlight crawls across the desert floor. The ration crates are now loaded, stacked high in 3 captured trucks and the single Opel Blitz borrowed from the Africa Corps. Major Tanaka stands beside the lead vehicle, chewing a piece of hard barley biscuit from his own rations, staring at a crate marked Premium Biscuits Fortified Vanilla Flavor. Sweetened biscuits for infantry. He forces himself to look away. Move out! The engines growl to life. Tires crunch over broken shell casings. The convoy begins rolling north toward a German forward depot where the Japanese liaison group has been operating since October.
Tanaka knows American pilots sometimes signal German ground troops before attacking. But this isn't a warning. It's confusion. The P-40 pilot sees trucks, but not German markings, not American. Japanese soldiers in German vehicles, something no Allied airman has ever seen. That hesitation, those 3 seconds, save the convoy. The second Warhawk circles wide, trying to identify them. Tanaka slams his fist on the driver's shoulder. Go, go! Run the engines hot! The convoy surges forward, engines screaming, racing down a sand slope, leaving boiling dust behind them. The Warhawks don't shoot, not yet, because they're radio in command. Unidentified column, possibly friendly, unknown markings, assessing. Tanaka doesn't know that, but he knows time is measured in heartbeats now. They thunder forward until the trucks reach a narrow ravine, dry riverbed, twisting and deep. Cover. At last. The engines go silent. Dust settles. Everyone listens.
The private finishes the peaches, wipes his mouth, and says softly, "Sir, if they feed their men like kings, what must their officers eat?" Tanaka doesn't answer, because he is thinking the same exact thing, but one step further. If this is what they give to ordinary soldiers, what must they give to pilots, to tank crews, to shipbuilders, to the factories producing weapons faster than Japan can destroy them? Then, somewhere above the ravine, an engine sound returns. Not planes this time, trucks, German ones. A Panzer Grenadier patrol emerges over the ridge. Gray uniforms, black cross markings, boots covered in desert dust. A Feldwebel jumps down, approaches Tanaka, and points at the crates. "What is all this?" Tanaka opens one box without speaking. The German NCO stares. Meat, chocolate, coffee packets. His eyes widen. He whispers,
The convoy pushes east, hugging the shallow contours of the desert. Every mile puts more distance between them and the American lines, but also more tension in the air. The men ride in silence now. Even the rumble of engines seems muted beneath the weight of what they have witnessed. Major Tanaka sits in the passenger seat of the lead truck, ration tin still in his hand. The label catches the morning light. Packed by Hormel Foods, Austin, Minnesota, USA. A civilian company, not a military one. Factories back home in Japan were shutting down for lack of steel, fuel, or manpower. And here was America letting ordinary food companies mass-produce gourmet meals for soldiers thousands of miles away. A world apart. Tanaka's driver, Sergeant Mori, glances over. "Sir, do you think headquarters will believe this?
They will say the enemy planted it to confuse us. Tanaka taps the metal tin against the dashboard, listening to its clean, industrial ring. They cannot deny what they can hold in their own hands, he says. But deep down, he knows Mori is right. Tokyo rarely believed reports that did not match their hopes.
You captured this? The lieutenant asks. All of it? Tanaka nods. The German looks at the piles of meat tins, chocolate bars, vitamins, powdered drinks, then whistles softly. Mein Gott, our men haven't tasted coffee in weeks. He doesn't say it, but his expression speaks clearly. How can we fight a country that feeds its army like this? The lieutenant steps closer. Major, I must ask, what do you intend to do with this? Tanaka answers without hesitation. Send it to Rome, then Berlin, then Tokyo. The German laughs once, bitter, low. They will not enjoy what they see. He waves the convoy through. As the trucks roll past the checkpoint, Mori leans toward Tanaka. Sir, the Germans knew. They understood immediately. Tanaka nods. Yes, and that frightens me more than anything. Because now the realization feels larger than rations, larger than a supply dump, larger than the desert itself. This war is not balanced, not even close. As the convoy descends into a long, dry wadi, the sound of distant artillery trembles across the wind, not close enough to threaten them, but close enough to remind them that battles are raging everywhere. And then, a thought slides into Tanaka's mind like a blade. Why had the Americans left so much behind? Why so organized? Why so perfectly stacked, perfectly labeled?